sometimes you're waiting on materials to come in you can't get a hold of and stuff like that. So.
There was a couple of license spots there Saturday morning too.
All right, Mayor, we're live.
Yeah. Sometimes it does take a while.
Welcome, everyone. Before we get started, I'm going to read our impact statement regarding Title VI and ADA. As a recipient of federal funds and in support of Lawrenceburg's efforts to ensure non-discrimination and equal access to all citizens, the city gathers statistical data regarding participants in city activities. Therefore, we have provided a voluntary Title VI public involvement survey at this meeting. You are not required to complete the survey. However, the form is anonymous and will only be used solely for the purpose of monitoring our compliance with Title VI and ADA. The survey is back in the back corner if you so choose to want to fill that out. All right. That was our paid advertisement. Okay, I'd like to call to order the Lawrenceburg City of Lawrenceburg Board of Works for February 7th, 2022. Can I get a roll call, Mr. Fetty?
Yes, you can. We got Board Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Board Member Tommy Roulette.
Present.
We got City Attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
We got Mayor President Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right, announcements, guys. I don't have anything for this particular meeting unless you guys do.
The only announcement I would have, Mayor, is thanking all the city employees
Absolutely.
for what they did over the past weekend, Thursday and Friday of last week.
And it was done safely,
Yes.
so most important. Yes, I agree. Okay, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second? I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. And then we also have a meeting from February 1st of 22. I'd entertain a motion to approve those meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Under new business, Mr. Fetty, it looks like you docu-deliver and new time clock system contract.
Yeah, I got two contracts that, these are a couple things that I've been working on for a while. Finally got everything kind of finalized and decide which direction that we want to kind of go with this right here. The first thing that I want to do is with the pay stubs. We're to the point now where we're kind of a little bit behind time on some of that stuff. We need to, in my opinion, get it to where these pay stubs are received through a secured site that they can get to them. That way, if they ever want to look up what they made in the past or anything like that, they can go to that date. They can actually have access to it. Not only that, but eventually the W-2s at the end of the year, once again, those will be able to get access to those at this site also. You can kind of see the numbers right there with that. I'm not sure what other kind of questions, but it's one of those things where it's just kind of, as a teacher over at the high school, we've been doing this for probably the past probably 8 to 10 years, and it's one of those things where it's really nice and convenient. For those people that's had it out there, they understand what I'm talking about. The ones that don't, it may be just a little bit of adjustment for them, but over time they will be very appreciative. That way, all the information there, they can look up all the time that they have or whatever, so it's kind of nice. And that's the docu-delivery. That is through Voice, which is Keystone, which we have our our payroll system with, so that's why I kind of went with them. So
Okay.
Are there any questions on that one?
I have none. I think you answered
No.
most of mine today.
Okay.
So can we we'll get a motion on this?
Get a motion on this before we go on with the time clocks, yes.
So the motion on the floor would be to allow Mr. Fetty to enter into a contract with Boyce for the docu-delivery system for payroll and give him the authority to sign this contract.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. You got that.
All right.
Next.
And the next one is with the time clocks. This one, I've had a team from the very beginning, and like I said, I think I've been working on this probably for about 8 months or so. We got together. We know that the time system that we have is a little bit outdated. Every Monday when we come in and do the time sheets, there's quite a bit of writing, quite a bit of variance. The supervisors do a lot of the work on this, and it's one of those things where once they put all their time and effort into it, then all of a sudden, over here at our office, we have to go through and we have to do the same thing to it. A lot better systems out there. Bryson, our new IT guy, he's been very beneficial, very helpful. He's led us a couple different directions, and what we'd like to do is we'd like to enter into this contract with Kronos. And that way, it's one of those things where it's kind of, we could use the phones, we can use our computers. You notice in there that I really only think that we need 4 time clocks, and that's just because of the part-time people. So they would be at the garage, the pool, the firehouse. And that way, everybody else has phones. We'd be able to clock in, clock out. It's all GPS regulated. So it's not like they can clock in at home because it'll basically say exactly where they're logged in or clocked in. Same thing with clocking out. The other thing, it runs several different reports that I think is going to be beneficial that we can take a look at as a city to see where maybe different events have overtime or different areas maybe have more overtime and thugs, but the reports are going to be very easy to get to. I'm just trying to think of anything else that I might be missing right here, but like I said, we put a lot of thought and time into this, and we definitely think this is the direction that we need to go. It's going to be consistent throughout the city, so my opinion would be to go with this Kronos, this UKG time clock system. Any questions that you have, and any questions that you have about the time clock system, I know that myself or Bryson would definitely be able to answer tonight.
I have
Now,
none.
will this include the LPD then as well
Yes.
immediately? We don't have to wait on that?
Right now.
Okay.
It does take about 90 days to incorporate once we get the contract approved and everything to get everything rolling.
Okay. All right. Any questions, guys?
Mark, what's the start and end date? What's the cancellation policy? That's what I'm looking for. How long are we locked in with these folks?
I think it's a 3-year contract.
What'd you
that?
say?
It's 120 days after the signed contract is when the official start of the contract starts.
So is this the contract that we have in front of us?
Yes.
I don't see a signature page. Isn't that?
There's a short form and then it references
it.
a master
Right here.
service
I see.
agreement. And there are some immediate deliverables and then what's the ongoing? Just the service? Bryson?
Remote support, there's tech support,
Do we run all this out of our local server? I mean, is
there's
it,
all web-based, there's nothing on site
but is it web-based back up to them or back up to us?
to them.
Okay.
And there's full support for time clocks, everything is next business day. So replace those for 3 years too, so if one breaks, they'll have something in the next day.
Okay. Any other questions?
Not from me, Your Honor.
If I don't have any other questions concerning this, I would entertain a motion to allow Mr. Fetty to sign this contract with Kronos regarding the new time clock system. That will include training for,
Yes,
Our folks
all
and everything?
supervisors,
Okay.
yes.
okay, good.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
All right, thanks.
All right. Next item is Mr. Walkie, the IT asset management and help desk contract.
Yeah, thank you. So, what this is a system where we can put all of our PCs and network gear into one interface where we can see like revision levels, do patches, do remote management, do administration is one piece. Second piece is our own local help desk. So today, everything's paper. If you look at my desk, I've got 25 different ways of communication where people need help. Text, email, Post-its, all kinds of things. So this will allow us to create a help desk interface for the city, a help desk interface for the fiber company, and a help desk for the new data center company. So that we can keep those one separate inboxes, I guess you will say. And on the fiber side, we can actually put it on our webpage where the general public can submit things directly to our fiber inbox without having to call or wait on someone to return their call type of thing, which we've had an issue with the last couple of months. So this will allow them to put it in there. We can either, our techs can get that, they can roll truck, they can call, all that kind of stuff. We can actually have 3 different customer bases based upon that. It allows us to be organized. Today, it's a madhouse. And it's really frustrating because I forget a lot of things and people get upset. And it's just a way to be really organized on both the asset side and the user help side.
He wasn't looking directly at you, Mayor, so.
The only question I have is, on their pricing effective is, 1/14 of 2022 to 1/31/2022. Is that still hold?
No, I have a new quote for, as of February. So it'd be,
Same amount of money?
yes, exactly. This is a federal agreement too with them.
So nothing would change on this except for the dates.
Correct.
Any other questions?
I have none, Mayor.
None.
If not, I entertain a motion to enter into this contract with Enable and allow Mr. Walkie to sign the contract.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
Second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
I have no other new business for this meeting. I have no old business for this meeting.
Have something under old business, Mayor.
Absolutely. We got,
Did we have anyone sign the remedial foreman bid that we put up?
I have not, Jenny was out today with a sick child, so I didn't get to ask her, but
Okay.
I'll
Didn't know
find
if
out
we-
tomorrow.
Okay.
Yep.
I know we put that up some time back, and I was just,
I think we actually put it up last week. Didn't we?
A couple weeks ago.
Have we put it out yet? Matt's job? Have we put that? Yeah, we did that one, but
Okay, that's what I'm asking.
he's
yes.
asking about Matt's.
I'm asking about Matt's, the remedial.
Yeah.
Not the LERUs, no.
Oh, no, you're asking about the, yeah,
Remedial foreman.
Matt signed, oh, the foreman job. Oh, yeah, I'm
Remedial
sorry.
foreman, yes.
Yes, Matt Marillion was a successful bidder.
Okay,
He's already got his letter.
okay,
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry about that.
not a problem.
Now, Matt's job within Remedial has either been posted or going to be posted this week.
Okay, that would have been my next question, yes. Okay,
Yeah. So. hopefully
Thank you.
Get that filled soon as well. Okay, any other old business then? If not, entertain a motion to approve the claims.
so moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I thought that was Lenny's phone.
I was getting ready to say it wasn't me.
That's my phone's at.
All right. Next meeting I'd like to call to order is the Lawrenceburg Utility Board meeting for February 7th, 2022. Can I get a roll call, Mr. Fetty?
Yeah, we got board member Tony Abbott,
Here.
board member Justin Noppert,
Sir?
board member Tom Eberlet,
Present.
board member Lenny Fryman, board member Brett Bondurant.
Yes, sir.
We got city attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
We got President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And Billy, Utility Director Billy Kennett's not here, but, and myself.
Right. Okay, any announcements you guys might have?
Yeah. Mr. Come up here.
You
Yeah,
can come up, sit up here.
thank you.
Did you guys have any announcements, Eric?
announcement he wanted me to make was that we had no power outages during the ice storm.
Absolutely.
That's great.
That's a great thing. I heard you guys had a good catch on Wilson Creek
Yeah,
Road.
we had a few trees that made some damage, but we were able to get it out before it knocked the power out.
That's great. Good deal. Okay. If no other announcements, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
I'm gonna take that
Carries.
phone away from you, Lee.
Somebody needs to get a hold of her.
I'm not me.
You sure that's not?
I left mine back here.
That's
Mayor's
Lenny's
looking at me
ringtone.
pretty hard over here. I think she's holding Lenny's phone.
Yeah.
Popular.
You okay, Lee?
Yeah, everything okay?
You could sit out here, Lee, if you want to talk to her.
What are you laughing at? You're-
She's gonna give, I know what
Yeah,
she's gonna do.
Lenny-
She's
Lenny's the
gonna
last
give me an
person.
earful. I know what Lee's gonna do.
All right. All right, we got a new business. Mr. Fetty, you want to go through your outstanding check write-off?
All right, so the first thing, that's all I got right there, is the outstanding check write-off. I do this every February. I have to do it before March 1st of every year. Any checks that we write that are over 2 years old, we have to write those off. And we'll have to do it with the council also here in a little bit, but this is for the utilities. You'll see the amount there, and I'd like to just get approval to write those checks off.
Okay.
You need movement on that?
Yep.
Any question?
Yep.
I'll entertain a motion to allow Mr. Fetty to do the outstanding check write-off.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, Mr. Webster, Travis D., promotion to electric lineman and serviceman A.
Yes, he would like to let the board know that next week is Travis D's final step of his apprenticeship, and upon completion and passing that, he would be promoted to lineman serviceman A.
So what you're asking now is if he passes, pending passing, that you would post a bid?
Post a bid for lineman serviceman A.
So you would know that next week.
Yes.
Any questions?
Is there some reason we would just won't wait to post the bid till after he passes?
Yeah, we have to wait.
Yeah, you'd have to wait.
I think Billy wanted to ask permission to allow him to post, or I guess Jenny will post it, but after they find out if he passes or not, because we wouldn't have another meeting then for
2 or
another
3
month.
weeks.
Yeah, no, yeah, 3 weeks. So. Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to allow the posting for promotion to electric lineman and serviceman A, contingent upon Mr. D passing the testing next week. Is that right?
Yep.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, Mr. Webster, surveillance, Scada license reinstatement.
Yeah, the Scada licensing we would like to get is the gold package. The total price of that is $61,000. Once we pay the $61,000, it would be $19,000 a year for the contract. It's a gold package, and the reason it's $61,000 to buy in is because of to bring all the system up to date for the years of not ever using it and paying the licensing fees. And that's $42,000, I believe.
Now, this SCADA system, is this just for the substations, or do you use that throughout the utilities?
Eventually, we would like to use it throughout the whole utility, but right now, it just does substation monitoring.
Similar to the SCADA system, I believe that LCD has in their substation.
Correct.
In their pumps and
Yep.
wells. Okay. All right. Any questions?
Is it the same company that does maintenance on things as well, or is that part of the contract?
No, I don't believe so.
Any other questions? If not, I would entertain a motion to allow Mr. Kennett to enter into contract for the license reinstatement for surveillance Scada.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next item, Mr. Webster, is postage machine lease agreement.
Yes, the U.S. Postal Service is wanting us to sign a 5-year extension for the postage machine. And Bill did the math, and we were only saving about $4 a month. And we have a lady in the office who goes to the post office once a day anyway. So he doesn't want to get back in this contract
Oh, okay.
and return their machine.
I don't think we need to do any kind of action on this, other than I think it's more to let you guys know he's not going to enter back into that contract. Any questions about him not doing that?
So is it currently where they're just they slide it in and it hits it and
Yep.
and they drop it off? So is it going to require a lot more time for them to, they still print stamp it, or?
Yeah. Well, they're going there daily anyway. So his thought was, why pay for this when we're paying someone to go there every day to mail off packages when they can do it while they're there?
Is it going to save a lot of time with, is it going to take a lot more time when the person's there, when one of the employees is there to go through that postage with the post office?
I don't believe it's going to affect their time any.
I think it's not like it's not utility bills going out every day. It's
Yeah.
more of a,
Letters or
7, 8,
Yeah.
9, 10
Okay.
things.
Yeah, over in our office, we got a machine in the contract, and it's beneficial because we got quite a bit of mail going out every day.
Right. That's what I'm
At least
thinking. It's just,
it's not, yeah.
I can imagine being cumbersome to kind
Couple
of go
letters
through that
here
whole
and there.
process
No,
every day at
it's
the
not
post
much.
office.
Do you have to stay there, do they stay there with them when they
I'm not sure.
do that, or they just drop it off and they do it?
I'm not sure.
It's pretty commonplace for businesses to do that, to drop it off.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Anybody see any issues?
See how it goes. We can always redo it.
Yeah. Okay.
or borrow the clerk treasurer's.
Yeah.
For money.
There you go.
Lenny
That's a
Lenny
good
can buy
idea,
a
Tom.
book of stamps
Mayor.
and put the stamps on.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy,
The kind you have to lick.
Lenny,
right?
come
every
down here.
Monday I'll come in and.
Lenny,
look
you
at
come
the
down
shit.
here and lick stamps?
Yeah. Keep him occupied.
All right. Next item, Mr. Webster, is Itron temporary surcharge of 5%. Just an explanation of that, or?
Yeah, it's just, that's not going to affect everything that the board has passed for the
Okay.
capital plan.
Good.
This was just letting the board know that anything moving forward we order through Itron metering, there is a 5% surcharge.
But everything we've ordered up to this point did not get that surcharge?
Correct.
Okay.
Now, it says-
Reason for the surcharge?
I think
know?
shipping times and how long, what they're paying to ship things here.
So it says temporary. Does that just mean that may go away?
Hopefully
eventually,
the
or-
economy gets better and the shipping gets
Next
better
direction.
and they won't have to charge that 5% anymore.
I don't know. I think I know some businesses that put a surcharge on 4 or 5 years ago when gas prices were up, and 2 years ago when gas prices were way down, surcharge is still on there.
They stay on.
Yep.
Once they're on, they don't come out. They don't come off. All right. Any questions about that, guys? Just
I have none.
information for that. Anything else, Mr. Webster?
No, sir.
Well, thank you for filling in for Billy. We'll tell him you did a stellar job.
Yeah,
Heck, we may not need him.
Hey, I'm telling you.
A lot less time,
Hey,
too.
exactly. Next meeting.
Yeah, and we may
I
not
usually
need
got the
him.
clock on Billy right here, just to keep him quiet after a while.
Well, it saved us about 30 minutes, I'd say.
Yeah, I'd say you did. No, that's good. Any other old business? Oh, I'm sorry.
Mayor, under,
Missing something?
with Mr. Kennett's email, he said something about opening the GIS mapping bids
It's in
tonight.
old
Yes.
business.
He's got the old
Yeah, I have the
bids
two,
right here
the bids.
to open them up.
Yeah.
It's actually in his
Public meeting.
email, it's not on the agenda, that's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. Okay, I guess,
Was it published for, I guess it was probably
was
published.
it
for
published to
6
open up
o'clock
today?
tonight.
It's a good question I cannot answer.
Let me look
I
at
know the bids
email.
had to be in today by 4:30.
That's what it said, by 4:30?
Yes.
Okay, you can open
Then
them
we
here.
okay.
Okay.
All right, we can open.
Yep.
This is for the GIS mapping?
Yes, this is
And just kind of say who they're from, I guess.
Empower Innovations.
What we'll do is, we'll allow them to take it under advisement.
Yes.
Come back to the next meeting and give us a recommendation. Who was the first company, Eric?
Empower Innovations.
Okay.
So if I can find their
I know it's tough to find those.
pricing sheet. Not sure if they put it in here.
Looks like he's asked for a fee schedule with expenses, so you might see a bunch of different numbers.
Yeah, okay. For the electric poles, which there's 2,300 of them, the bid price for the mapping is $63,600. For the fiber features, which there's 3,000, the bid is $25,350. Storm manholes, we have 3,272. It is $56,352 for those.
What was that number again?
The amount of manholes or the
Number,
price?
no, for the amount of money?
56,352.
Okay.
500 sanitary manholes, $8,000. 1,000 water valves, $8,000. 375 water hydrants, $3,000. 1,730 water meters, $12,110. All the sewer lateral cleanouts, 500 of those, $4,250. 13 lift stations, $1,950. 300 low-pressure sewer service pits, $2,100. 2,000 sewer laterals, $10,000, with a total of $194,712.
How much was it?
$194,712.
Okay. All right, next one.
Is that you over there making all that noise with the microphone?
Yeah, I think so. And this is banning. Sure on how they get the numbers, price.
Do you have a total?
I would just give it.
Yeah.
Just give the total.
The
and
total
They can go through them.
The total with banning is $467,300.
Well, that's why I think, taking it under advisement, I think they're gonna have to go back and look, and make sure we're comparing apples to apples.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a big
Big
difference
delta
there.
there. Yeah.
Well, and the RFP is very specific. It has a matrix, so he'll be able to match it all up
Okay.
pretty easily.
All right. All right. Is that all of them?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So what I would ask the utility board is allow Mr. Kennett and his staff to do investigate these bids, and then come back to us at the next USB meeting with a recommendation after he's had time to go through it.
Is that timely enough, Your Honor? As far as in regards, is there anything time sensitive with that?
I don't believe so,
Okay.
no.
So,
Yeah, we don't have a deadline to award it. And I would say just when Billy gets back, if you look at the second page of the RFP, we would just break both of those proposals down into those categories. And that's what Mayor's talking about with apples to apples. And then as long as they've complied with the bullet points, they're responsive, as long as they, as long as there aren't any indications that they can't fulfill the project, then they're responsible, and then we just take the lowest of the two. But this is, again, an RFP, so it's not a bid. So we can still not only there's not a deadline on fulfilling it, but if we want to go back to them and ask them for additional services or clarification, we can. We don't necessarily have to use the lowest cost, but if it's all the same, then we would. So that's the next step, is just to make sure it's all the same. But it's an RFP, not a bid. Is important to note.
Well, I'll move on that, Your Honor.
All right, second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thanks, Tommy, for
problem.
Anything else for this meeting? Anybody have anything else for utilities? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor? Favor.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need a motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. All right, next meeting I'd like to call to order is City of Lawrenceburg Council meeting for February 7th, 2022. If everyone could rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. All right, Mr. Fetty, one more time, roll call.
All right. We have Councilperson Tony Abbott.
Here.
Councilperson Justin Knopper.
Here.
Councilperson Tommy Roulette.
Present.
Councilperson Lenny Fryman.
Here.
Councilperson Brett Bondurant.
Yes, sir.
We got City Attorney Dale Willem.
Here.
We got Mayor Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right, announcements, board reports, streets, alleys, and curbs, downtown, Mr. Abbott.
Everything's fine?
Great.
Well, as of right now, we'll wait till the thaw.
Yeah, wait till the fall. Yes. Streets, alleys, and curbs on Ludlow Hill, Mr. Fryman.
Looks really good.
Finance, Mr. Bondurant.
No report on finance, but our mirror is up.
Yes, I seen that today,
Mirror's up.
actually.
Took a little while, but it's up.
That's good.
I like watching myself when I go by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually see my car, I'm like, that's me.
Watch the guardrail. All right, Parks and Playgrounds, Mr. Knopper.
Nothing to report, Your Honor.
Okay. And Fire Department, Mr. Roulette.
Nothing to report, Mayor.
All right, I just want to remind you all that we have an executive combined meeting on Thursday at 4 p.m. with redevelopment and council.
I will be out of town.
Yes.
Mr. Fetty will be, but I'm sure you guys can handle it.
I'm sure we can. Yeah, I don't think I'd want to be with you two.
I'd have to agree.
All right. All right. Any other announcements, guys? I mean, Tommy said it, and it goes without saying how I think, the city, when we have events like what happened here last week with the storm event, first responders, Civil City, LMU, everybody, it's like clockwork. It really is. And I appreciate their hard work in all this, that's for sure.
It's greatly appreciated, and especially when you don't get the phone call saying I'm out of electric.
Absolutely.
Or something of that
You
nature.
got that right.
Thank you very much.
That's a good point.
I just want to say one thing. Yesterday, I was coming down through Aurora, and there was a Switchland County Life Squad pulled off on the side of 50. And there was our Lawrenceburg Life Squad vehicle that we bought so the EMTs can meet another Life Squad.
Yep.
And they were off the side of the road. They were off the side of the road treating this patient, and I thought, that's pretty darn neat.
Chase vehicle.
Money well spent, of
That
course.
chase vehicle is used more than I ever thought, ever knew that would be.
Yep.
Mr. Clark, Rick, it's busy.
That's good.
Isn't it? Yeah, that's good. That's good. Glad we can provide it, actually. All right, if no other announcements, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. We also had a meeting on the same day earlier, on January 18th. It was a work session for council. I entertain a motion to approve those minutes.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Wanted to give you an update on a committee report. Mr. Walkie will have your report for fiber in the package for next meeting. It'll be a full financial along with like a current up-to-date numbers and everything.
All right.
He wanted me to let you know that. All right, new business, D&B Engineering, sign study. Good evening.
Good evening. I'm Matt Larrabee with DB Engineering to present the sign inventory and sign study. The sign study was multifaceted to provide an inventory of the sign assets for the city of Lawrenceburg, as well as to investigate and evaluate downtown intersections in the four-way stop areas, and also provide neighborhood traffic calming information. With the sign inventory, we traversed all 23 miles within the city streets and identified, geotagged, measured, and visually rated the signs that are part of the city of Lawrenceburg. This information is provided in the spreadsheet in the report. The sign breakdown, we identified them as regulatory signs, warning signs, guide signs, and then other types of signs. And as a part of the report, there's a visual rating and condition table and recommended maintenance activity table within the report. In the downtown area, we evaluated and investigated the intersections along Center Street and High Street. We performed AM and PM peak hour traffic counts to identify the number of vehicles moving through those intersections. The purpose of this was to optimize the balance between traffic flow and the public safety in the downtown area. The Indiana Manual on Uniform Traffic Control Devices provides criteria for warranting four-way stop intersections. And the intersection of Center Street and Walnut Street was the only intersection that currently met the minimum traffic volume criteria. However, due to the adjacent buildings to the intersections and the ability of on-street parking, it inhibits or limits the driver's ability to see oncoming traffic on the side streets. Hence our recommendation to not remove any of the stop signs on those intersections. And then also, we've provided neighborhood traffic calming information in the report to improve driver behavior, reduce speed, reduce cut-through traffic, improve safety for pedestrians, bicycles, and vehicular traffic. And there are alternatives listed in the report. I can go through those. Some of the alternatives are stop signs, turn restrictions, limiting of one-way streets, addition of rumble strips or speed humps, or street narrowing or adding curb extensions, or curb radius reduction or chicanes. And again, this information is provided in the report. There is a spreadsheet of the sign inventory with the rating system and also the corresponding signposts and their types in the report as well. And I would be inclined to entertain any questions that you have.
Thank you, Matt. And I've City Attorney Dale Weldon, I've talked to you a couple times. So this project, guys, goes pretty far back. If you remember, we talked about this maybe even 2 years ago in response to just kind of, we've got a lot of situations where people say, hey, you know, I've got kids in an alley, seems dangerous, let's put up a speed hump. Or, you know, cars are driving really fast on this street to this street, let's put a stop sign up. And so instead of looking at each individual situation, John and Mario found DB Engineering, which is a firm that does this type of study, so that now, because that's great. I mean, that's what we should be doing, right? You guys are responding to your constituents, you're looking at your individual wards, and when something comes up that seems dangerous, you're jumping on it. However, we should be able to look at a comprehensive overall plan, and this gives you guys the tools you need too, because now you can sit, and when someone says, hey, we've got to have a speed hump on Tate Street, or we've got to have we've got to put a stop sign up on Pribble, you can say, instead of saying, yeah, that makes sense to me, I'll run it up to council, now we can say, well, we did a study, we have all the stop signs that we need. If we need more, DB will tell us. If we need less, DB will tell us. Same goes with speed humps, speed tables, yield signs, speed limits. So correct me if I'm wrong, Matt. I mean, that was the focus that we discussed, and that was really that's the useful aspect of this besides, an inventory or looking at what we have, is to be able to actually use it as a document so that your constituents won't feel like you're ignoring them. You're saying, hey, in fact, we've even hired an expert to say, how do we make our streets the safest possible? Tell us if we need a stop sign every block, if that's safe, or if we need no stop signs on this block, that's the most safe. So that's, and Tony,
Well, from what I've just heard from him, he's actually saying we might need more speed humps or bumps or tables in Lawrenceburg, right?
Not necessarily. Part of it is on an individual street basis, based on the type of street, whether it's a local street or a collector or an arterial. You really don't want to install or have speed humps or speed bumps on arterial streets.
Mhm.
They're more utilized on the local streets. And one aspect you have to look at is the maintenance of that street and bus routing and
garbage trucks.
the city vehicles that would utilize that, emergency vehicles and the access that they would have.
So Matt, is it fair to say that Councilman Abbott, for example, could come to John Johnson and Mario Todd and look at your report and be able to say, okay, this particular area, either it might need another street speed hump or it might need the speed hump taken out. So when individual issues come up, you can use this document and consult with John and Mario specifically when things come up, or you can do it generally. You can go there at any time. Is that fair to characterize this as a working document that can guide us rather than us just guessing where we need a stop sign or a speed hump? Okay.
If you guys
I would use
remember.
that as
Go ahead.
assist, but I wouldn't just go strictly by this document. I mean, it's fine for it to assist us, but we're the ones living here and we see the speeders going down the street. Like, did you guys sit and watch, like from 2 o'clock till 5 o'clock, like on Short Street, and watch the speeders go by, or any other street like that? Was that any part of that study?
We had people on site throughout the day doing the data collection for the sign inventory, and then we were located at the intersections along Center Street and High Street during the AM and PM hours, specifically doing the traffic counts. Now, to say that we sat there to specifically watch the traffic throughout the day, that wasn't necessarily what we were performing.
Mm-hmm.
But we would have an idea based on our traffic information from those AM and PM hours. Now, could be outliers throughout the day, of course.
And Matt, just to give these guys an example, when did you first start this project, and how long did you work on the project, and how long did you have teams here in the city of Lawrenceburg?
I believe we started our data collection in October of 20, and we had multiple crews on site up through Thanksgiving of that year, performing the data collection, whether it be the sign inventory or the traffic data collection. And then we performed the analysis in office, and we had crews out the beginning of the following year picking up information that may have been omitted from the initial first 2 months.
And you're right, Councilman Abbott. I mean, all of you guys are the ultimate authority on what we do, and the things that are properly before city council. You do make those decisions. It's just now you'll have an expert report that you can rely on. If you disagree with it, then you certainly can, absolutely. But
No,
this is
I'm not
this
saying
is a
nothing.
basis to use.
I'm not saying nothing bad about the study report. I'm just saying that can be a specific tool to help us, but that's not the only tool to help us to decide whether we need a speed bump or a stop sign or something. I mean, there's other things that the local people see that they didn't see while they were here, and that we see.
And I agree with that. It's just we didn't have this tool at all. Now we have this tool
We have another
and
tool.
Yep, I totally agree with that. I think that's the best way to characterize it. And Matt's group was great. They gave us an initial report, then they went back and they added to it based on input. And we kind of said, look, we wanted more. We want what we're kind of talking about, and they were willing to do that, and they did that. So I think that you're right. This is a tool, one of many tools, but it's something we haven't had before. So I think it'll be very helpful.
So I saw a lot of different areas where you had talking about what's the terminology again, where you're traffic calming effects, and I did notice as I was reading through it earlier that curb widening, I guess it provides a closer space for pedestrians to cross in a crosswalk. I'm thinking about specifically like Tate and Walnut, where they would actually widen the curbs and make them closer. So that it would tighten things. I mean, because that's one of the ones that you didn't sit at. They run through that right in front of the police station all day long. People just blaze right through that. Some of it is they can't see the stop sign very well because they're kind of hidden behind parked cars sometimes, and sometimes they just don't care. Maybe that's most of the time. But there are different issues, and as I was reading, are those your? I think that's what we're ultimately looking at is slowing people down and making them cognizant of their surroundings around them, right? Isn't that why we're doing speed humps and all these different protocols? So are there any recommendations that you guys do the study? Because I didn't see any specific recommendations other than to not remove stop signs.
Yeah, on the wider streets, our recommendation would be the curb narrowing at the intersections. It provides a narrower passageway. It gives the driver the condensed visual feel to help slow them down. And again, it also provides an added factor of safety for pedestrians. They have a shorter distance to cross in the crosswalk.
I really like that recommendation because as I was reading through that, I'm just thinking about the children who they pile in a group and they start walking across the crosswalk. Cars may not see them because they're still behind a parked car.
The only wide streets, though, that really fit that is Walnut,
Yeah.
which I think we have them up here where we're one way, but we don't have it here we do right here at
Right.
Center Street, but we do not have it at Tate Street. And I think, and I agree with your assessment, I think a lot of people don't see that stop sign, number one. Or I don't think I'd be blowing by a stop sign right in front of the police station. But I think a lot of people don't see it. I really do. I think that might be a good recommendation going forward to try and match up what it looks like here at Center Street down on Tate Street.
Is there some way to put a stop sign in the middle of the intersection up high? I know we tried that before and it got blown all over the place. But is there anything different nowadays?
Well, I've seen those flexible bollards.
Well, I
and-
think if you narrow that intersection where
We can put the sign
you
out
can put the
farther.
sign out further.
Yeah.
And I think you could see it. I mean, look at what you got here at Center Street. Now, we're not gonna make it one way, but that street's really wide down there. And
Right.
you could bring it in quite a bit right there at the street, at the corner of Tate and Walnut. And then you could bring your stop signs in tighter as well, and
I
I
think
think
that's
about-
one big one that could
a
really
lot more
help.
visible that way.
What about putting on the stop sign instead of doing all that? Why can't you just put like reflectors or something that flashes? That they would definitely see it.
Well, if you look at the stop sign that's there in front of the eye doctor, it's not easily seen. I don't care if you put
Yeah,
a
it's just-
person standing on it. I mean, you can't hardly see.
And there's
it.
cars parked at an angle. It's
Yeah, you don't,
hard
yeah,
to
if
see.
a car's parked there and stuff, and I think what
Yeah.
the recommendation
Yeah, that's right.
on
Yeah.
some of that is narrowing those intersections where I think is a pretty good idea, but we ought to try it, maybe,
Yeah.
Well, and these guys, just to let everyone know, I mean, these guys are very, very in tune with how do we keep everything safe all the way down to a small alley, to a small curb cut. I mean, they're always bringing up ways to make the city safer. This report's public, so everyone in the public can look at it. This report will always be in our engineering department with Mr. Johnson and Mr. Todd, but, it's an ongoing thing. And one of the you know, obviously, we can't have a stop sign and a speed hump, you know, every 10 feet. I think we would if we thought that would, these guys would do whatever it takes to make things safer. So that's why this is just another tool. And Matt, you heard when you were kind of coming up, they said, hey, our mirror's up. We got a mirror up. Well, that's a mirror that was kind of a unique thing that would only be on Ludlow Hill on Beelby Road, but it's something that creates extra visibility. So whether it's up on the hill, whether it's downtown, certainly whether it's by the school, these guys are always making the streets and roads safer by any means necessary. So this is a good part of that.
Yes.
Well, I think that the intersection down there has been brought up on a number of occasions, and I think if we don't do anything, I don't think we're doing the right thing. So I think it might be worth looking at
Building
an
out.
option like
Yeah.
this or
Well,
something.
no, I like the street narrowing. I mean, it doesn't affect anything. What is it, the curb radius reduction, that makes it challenging because some of our equipment and garbage trucks and those kind of things, I mean, even my truck, you know, I curb it every once in a while. But I could see that being a challenge. But what about, and I know these, I think they can be aesthetic, those flexible bollards you see in the middle that are in roadways. And I've seen them in very affluent cities where they'll be, you know what I'm talking about, that like if you did hit it, you wouldn't damage your car, you'd run over it. Is that something that's becoming more common, or is there science behind that?
You see a lot of that.
That's the guide.
Yes, as more
More of
of
a
a
guide.
guide, or to separate a trail from, or a bike lane from the on-street travel lane.
They just added those, if you know, down there where you turn off of US 50. to
Chipotle.
go at Chipotle.
Yep.
And that was done, I'm sure that was done because a lot of people would pull in that way, right? But it was also, I think people were trying to pull out that way, and
Yeah.
and I think they did that.
Well, I've been in like cities like Ann Arbor and downtown in these areas, and they have them all over the place, and they're plowing snow like crazy too. Somehow they're not obstructing their upkeep and maintenance on their roads. But I've seen them in different cities more recently.
I think there's options. I think that's what the report gives us, is options for where we identify things as they come up.
We would do the
Such-
build out, put a tree right there at the end of it.
Such as the Tate Street and Walnut Street issue. I mean, that, not a bad, maybe a bad solution, so.
I was gonna suggest maybe putting stop signs back, but I don't think that would fly.
I mean, stoplights?
Stoplights, I mean, I'm sorry.
That was an old argument, wasn't it, Kelly?
Yes, I bet it was.
So if we want to take action on these things, Mayor, in regards to just taking some of their thoughts into consideration, because there's not any like action steps or anything like that. We
This
just,
is
we have a
information.
study to
The
kind
study
of
was
inform
done-
us.
We own the study now, and it's ours to utilize at our, our convenience. For reference, whatever. So. Anything else? Thank you very, very much, Matt.
Thank you.
Huck, thank you.
See you, Huck.
All right, the next item I have on the agenda, and I thought John was gonna be here. I didn't know he put this on here without being here, but I think we know where this, what's that?
I can help. We
Well,
passed
I
it at the
know
planning
about
commission. Okay.
Yeah, this was the, you know where 420 St. Clair is, correct? It's the house that's next to the parking garage over on St. Clair. You guys all familiar?
Yes.
Back in the day, evidently that was supposed to be deeded over to the city.
Yes.
And it didn't get done, and then we brought it up when I first got on, first became mayor. We had heard about it, so we asked about it. And the reason we asked about it then was because I had gotten some complaints from our sanitation department. They didn't have room to get through with a garbage truck through that throughway. So it's taken us till now, and about 4 GMs later over at Hollywood, to, I guess, this went in front of the planning commission, and then obviously it gets put in front of you guys. We are going to I guess we are gonna get that back. And this is the plat you guys got in front of you, as it was in your packet.
So we're taking ownership of the said property. Now, we'll be responsible for demoing it, correct?
Yes.
We've
And
got,
along with that, then you're going to put an alleyway through there. Is our plan?
I'm open to whatever we think is the best thing to do there. My understanding is it may not be large enough
To
to
rebuild.
put another house.
Well, I'd like to add to that, the neighbor next to it has their pool on that property by about 2 feet. The fence is there. The fence was there when she bought the house, and that's probably 20 years ago.
Okay. I'm sorry, Connie, what'd you say?
It-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I mean, that's 15 years ago, at least 20 years ago. So, yeah.
That property,
we
that's
said,
the
planning
property
commission,
line
we
in,
said we'll
is that what
fix
you're
that
saying?
line, so that.
Yeah, so once they did the survey, they found out that her fence was 2 foot on the new city property. So I wanted to work out some kind of deal for her to buy that for $1 or
My
something.
understanding is the planning commission talked about that.
Yeah, we talked about that,
About,
but it would be up to
and
council.
but, you know, because what we were probably gonna use the lot for was not another home, but
Right.
but an alley to help with snow plowing and sanitation is
Interesting.
what I originally thought, so.
Did we talk, Tony, do you remember, did we talk about, at planning commission, we talk about the garage or the shed or?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Brett, what
Yeah,
did we say about that?
I think the initial request was they asked to keep that, right?
Is that the one in the back?
No, they asked to keep where they keep the mulch.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, it's that little thing beside the parking garage where they keep the mulch and they keep,
Concrete area.
yeah,
Yes,
the
yes.
concrete area. They wanted to keep that.
That's the
That's what I
concrete area.
understood it.
So this
Yes,
isn't
right
part
there.
of it, the blue thing. You're talking about this, not that. That's a
I think
different.
that's
That's,
across
that's
the-
when
on the other
they're
side.
talking about this area right here.
Right there.
They want to keep that,
Yeah.
They.
the gaming.
Hollywood does.
Hollywood,
That's
I'm
how
sorry.
they keep their mulch for the summer and salt.
But this lot might not start till after.
We would
this
just
thing.
continue our alley through there,
That was the
Yeah.
original.
or the road, or we would continue
It would be an alley.
an alley, okay.
It
Which would
take
give
over
access into
George
that
Street.
cul-de-sac
Yes,
by Win Nelson?
yes.
Yes.
Or a lot of people be happy about that. Maybe other than the neighbors by the alley, I don't know.
So fix the neighbor's lot issue, keep that
Keep that.
concrete pad,
Yes.
and then demo. And Messmore has already done the demo assessment. He did the environmental. There's no remediation, so we're good there.
But go back to his question, would that be a street or an alley? Because it's
Alley.
gonna be used quite a bit,
It'd be an alley.
be an alley.
Yeah, because you lost
Yeah, the
Dunn
place
Street
widened
that was
it.
right up from it
Yeah. Yeah, we're going right
when they
into it.
vacated that for the parking garage.
It would probably be better an alley anyway, just for the neighboring area that it wasn't.
It's gonna be used like
It is gonna be
street no
used a
matter.
lot, but it's not gonna be a place where kids per se are gonna be out all the
Yeah.
time. I mean, maybe put a speed hump in
That'd
it.
be a speed hump.
So clear.
I was getting ready to say, we're looking at speed
Go
bump
ahead,
now.
Tom. Go ahead, Tom.
For clarification, and I wondered this, and I was talking to Mr. Fryman about it. The way you look at this plot plan, it shows lot 3 and lot 4.
Yeah.
And they are actually, the homeowner next to that, I'll say going north, is actually on lot 4, as you're stating.
Right,
Yes.
Okay.
by about 2 feet.
So we'll fix that. We'll split off this lot from the casino property. And Archie already has that drawn up. We'll just have him adjust, and we can merge. If it's an adjoining property owner, then we don't have to advertise and sell it. We can give it to them. We'll
So
just
after-
do it. We'll do it through an official action.
So after we give this piece of property away and give this piece of property away, we got enough for an alley?
Yeah. Yeah, we'll have.
Yeah, that's my thought.
There's really not that much property.
16
being
feet is
given
all
away.
officially you have to have, right?
I think it's a matter of a few feet is given, you know.
Right.
Let's wonder about this wall, but I'm sure it's on the right side.
Yeah.
That's where they
Wall
wanna
may
keep
have
right
come
there,
down.
Dale, where the wall is.
Let me see that picture again, just.
Mr. Massey, you got any input on the alley aspect of this? I mean, again, helping out with the refuge?
If, one thing that would be nice, once Hollywood gets this, we give it back to them, if they would access it from the rear and not here, because they've torn our curbs and our sidewalk.
I don't
grass
know if
up.
they can.
Well, this is all open back here, this is part of the alley,
Oh.
but this all would be alley
I
then.
hear you.
They should be able to get in there, a little more blacktop right there, and they can get it from the back, and they won't tear our streets and sidewalks up.
Well, if you had the alley there, they would be able to come out and go
Yeah.
right out front
Go in
and
there.
drop the mulch and stuff. I see what you're saying.
Anyway, I guess what we need to do is, as
We
far
need
as-
a vote to approve the plat.
Yeah, a vote to approve the plat tonight, and then we'll decide, let planning commission decide how it's gonna be split off, and then it'll come back to us again, I guess.
Yeah, and I'll have Archie fix the neighbor on the north and then this
Okay.
pad.
Yeah, I was in on that discussion. I'd make a motion that
We approve
we
the plat?
approve the plaque, yeah.
I have a second.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Okay, Mr. Fetty, cancellation of warrants.
Yeah, I got a couple things here, just like we did with the utilities. Once again, any checks that the city wrote that's over 2 years old, we gotta write those off by State Board of Accounts. We have to do this before March 1st, so I would like to get approval of that.
So moved.
Second.
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
All right, and then the second thing I have, once again, we do this every year. Any ordinances that we pass in 2021 have to be added to our code of ordinances, and basically American Publish they're the ones that we send them to. I know that we're kind of doing a little bit of project, kind of tidying up some of these ordinances and stuff right now, but you still, by State Board of Accounts, you have to add the ones from the previous year to what you already have. And this would be ordinance 1-2022, so I would like to get approval of that tonight.
I have one question.
Yes, sir.
What about the resolutions that we pass? Do they don't do anything with them?
Well, I mean, they're stored in a database.
We store them, we have them
You know, yeah.
on file, but they don't
I
have
see
to
you
be
can
added.
go on our website and get to them as well, but
And
it
it's,
just pertains to ordinances
Just
only.
ordinances, yes.
well, and it's not all ordinances, so
Well-
only the ordinances that become part of the new code. So there's super ordinance that's now a law and it goes into the code. There's an ordinance that just takes some kind of official action, there's a resolution. Typically, we'd use ordinances when we're doing money or doing budget or doing something that, you know, changes something substantially. Resolutions are for things that are just as important, but a little, you know, less formal. Sometimes statute tells you what you have to do. A lot of times it doesn't. So we just err on the side of, you know, if something is making a change for the community or if it's financial, you'll see an ordinance. But we're really talking about what's now going into the code as kind of a new law of the city.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 1-2022.
So moved.
And approved it tonight, pending a unanimous vote, so we get enacted.
I'll make that motion, Mayor.
I'll second it.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Mr. Massey, Parks Truck Purchase.
Thank you, Your Honor. I'm just coming to you guys tonight to let you know that we would like to purchase a vehicle for the Parks Department. It was budgeted for 2022. In front of you, you got two bids. One is from Bo Townsend from Vandalia, Ohio. They've got a bid in at $56,500. Hag Ford has a bid for $58,665. This is for a 2022 F-450 rolling chassis, no dump bed, no flatbed, nothing. The extra piece on the packet is the purchase of a flatbed from Osgood. We will do that in-house.
And these are state bids, correct?
Yes.
So the other one's Ohio State bid's lower than Indiana is.
He's $2,000 cheaper.
Do we change our own oil, or is, because I know that the oil changes here are
We do.
free. We change it?
Yeah, we've been having trouble with Hag Fords,
Service department? It's changed over the years, hasn't it?
very much.
Yeah. It's unfortunate, because they were always stellar.
But we've got their best mechanic from them, so.
Oh, all right. Maybe that's why. Yeah.
Okay. Questions for Mr. Massey?
I hate to go out of state to buy one, but $2,000 some
Well,
dollars.
it's,
And for not
you just got
servicing.
estimates. This isn't any RFP or bid process or anything, is it?
No, you just go out and get pricing on vehicles.
I mean, is it crazy to say that you couldn't take that and say, hey, match this price?
I think we should.
That's what I think they'll do. I mean, I
Well,
think
what-
it's
Yeah. we
silly
just-
not to.
I think we just, that's what we do with police and, you know, we just ask them to match the government financing and, I mean, they should. And they'll
I would think they would want
get
to.
a pushback, but
And we keep our business in-house.
Yep.
As soon as you start going somewhere else, you get service somewhere else, then you lose that. Yeah. Like
well,
I was-
and that's what protects, you know, that's what makes us good stewards. Instead of doing a bid where we get lowest bidder, if we say, hey, they're gonna match the government price, and then we know we've got the best price available.
Time is not of the essence here.
No.
So if we could ask you to go back and see if HAG 4, I guess you said, would match that, we could bring it up at the next meeting?
That's what I would yell about.
I'm in favor of it.
I'd like that,
I prefer to keep it here anyway.
yeah. Don't tell them that, but
And also,
Good thing we're
March
not
the
live.
3rd,
Never know.
Tom?
or March the
Make a
5th,
motion
which is a
first.
Saturday from 10 to noon, is the Summerhealth Job Fair. For anybody that you know that will be wanting to apply for summer help, that's our first round of hiring.
In the news.
Awesome. Is there do I remember seeing a flyer for that in the past?
It'll
We
be
usually
on-
put out a flyer on the
It'll
city
be on
Facebook
social
page?
media
Okay.
and things like that. Jenny
Okay.
put it out, or Guinevere, or combination of the two. but-
That's in the plans to happen again this year as well?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Same way we do it every year, and then, I'll meet with the, department heads, and they'll determine the number of people we need to hire.
Good.
March 5th, 10 to 12.
Yes, sir.
I might be looking for a job, so.
Come on down.
Millennial weed
We
eat,
need people that'll work.
Just discussion about summer help makes me excited.
Yes, sir.
yeah, it is all.
I think.
Mayor, Mr. Abbott made a comment. Could we go ahead and make a motion to purchase it from HAG if they did, or should we wait?
I think we should
Just
wait,
wait.
especially if it's not time is of the essence. That way we,
Can I get a okay for the bed, at least?
yeah, the bed is not gonna be,
Yeah, that's,
I mean, that's in, is that in the budget, or is it in the?
Yeah, it's all
Yeah.
included in the budget.
Maintenance.
We're
All
paying for the
under,
budget.
Yeah,
What's
that's,
that?
it's, everything's in the budget.
75,000.
I would, you just need, so he can get it ordered?
Yes.
probably start fabricating it.
If not, it's.
All right, we can do that much.
Okay.
That bed price is,
$7,000.
$7,045.
that's
Got
the
it.
bed and the wiring,
Yes,
correct?
yes,
okay, that's from Neil Motor Company?
yes.
All right, so, I need a motion to accept the bid, from Neil Motor Company for, the 4500 series truck that we'll be ordering, not to exceed $7,045.
So moved.
Second.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Thanks again for the weekend, Brad. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Brad.
Thank you.
Good work.
Yeah, pass that along. We greatly appreciate that. I'm sure
All right.
Mr. Webster will too.
Absolutely. Mr. Weldon, looks like we got the Empa contract extension.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. If it pleases the Common Council for City of Lawrenceburg, and Mr. Webster's here too on behalf of Mr. Kennett. As you recall, we did already vote, just generally to extend our contract with IMPA. They approached us, approached Mr. Kennett, and have approached all of their members and asked them to extend the period, so that our period wasn't up. We just are extending it so that it has a different end date, which enables them, because it's a cooperative, because we buy based on the strength of having multiple members. They are kind of most generally making long-term purchases on our behalf, right? So if some of the members are due to expire 5 years from now or less, then it makes it more difficult for them to make those long-term purchases. The long-term purchases are what gets us our lowest price in the big picture. So that's generally what Billy brought to you guys, and generally what you voted to approve. These are the formal documents, starting with what you'll see in your packet first, dated February 7th, is a letter, an attorney letter from me, which verifies that we are able to do this, that we have the authority to do this, that we're a member of this cooperative, and that we have the authority to take action that binds Lawrenceburg Municipal Utilities as a member of this cooperative. You'll see next ordinance number 2022-2, which talks about, and we can talk about any of these specifics as we go, but the origins of our membership in the cooperative, how the cooperative works, the power sales contract, and that we will extend our end date to April 1st, 2042. And again, this is something that and we'll extend it to 2050, so with a 30-year notice of termination. And they say specifically this will allow the agency the discretion to issue new debt with long-term amortization, and that is what gives us our power as a cooperative.
We have to give them a 30-year notice if we're gonna stop using them.
Yeah, exactly.
It says 30 years.
Yeah, and that's kind of, when we were talking about, of course this makes sense, and of course this is the best thing for the utility, but when we talk about, what if we go out on our own, just kind of see how we could do, well, you're right, then we have these 30-year cancellation, but it's kind of crazy, but when you think about the power grid and how you really buy power, where does power come from, for all, whether it's a municipal utility or a private utility, kind of mind-boggling that we're all buying, the power in this room came from, Pennsylvania, came from a nuclear power plant or coal or gas-fired power that all goes into a grid and then everyone buys. So pretty fascinating stuff. If you're a utility nerd like
So are we
me and
only
Billy.
approving the ordinance then?
We are approving all of it, but formally, yes, Your Honor, only the ordinance requires the vote of approval. The other documents are ancillary documents that are approved by virtue of approving the ordinance. And then, like I said, the attorney letter is a letter of certification from me stating that we have the authority to do that. So you'll see multiple documents, and we can answer any questions about these documents. These all came from IMPA, were drafted in conjunction with IMPA, and are the things they need as well for us.
Questions? If no questions, I'll entertain a motion to approve ordinance number 2-2022, provided it is a unanimous vote, would be approved and enacted tonight.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys. All right, any old business, guys? Okay, if not, I entertain comments from the audience.
My neighbor wants to know, is our apartment building commercial or is it residential? He told me to ask you.
It's multifamily.
Oh, I must know.
That'd still be residential, wouldn't it?
Sounds
Yeah, I
Classified.
think it's zoned residential.
I was gonna say it's zoned residential, so. That was my answer. Apparently he didn't believe me, Lee.
Oh. Tell him to come here himself and ask that question. Don't put
He didn't
you up
think you'd
to
ask
it.
the mayor in front of Tony though this time.
Thanks, Lee. Any other comments? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Motion to adjourn this meeting.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Community picnic, April 23rd. We'll have, we'll get the
Lawrenceburg
flyers
B,
out.
Called Lawrenceburg B.
Yeah, I'll
April
Residential
23rd.
B. I think you're
Community
right.
picnic.